case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
The U.S. Supreme Court recently addressed a compensation case that could set a new precedent for longshoremen's rights. The case centered around a loading helper who was injured while at work. The helper slipped on ice while working on a coal barge, and as a result, was granted an award sum for negligence by the court. The owner of the vessel, found at fault for not removing the ice, was called into question regarding his liability for the incident. The case went a level higher when it was argued whether the owner, already held accountable for the injury compensation under the Longshoremen's and Harbor Workers' Compensation Act, could also be sued for negligence. The lower court upheld that the vessel owner could indeed be pursued for negligence, setting a potential new norm for any longshoreman injured on the job. However, a contentious point arose when determining the calculation of damages for the injured longshoreman, which led to the escalation to the Supreme Court. The lower court deemed that compensation for future financial loss likely to be experienced over the duration of the helper's impaired career should be determined. It ruled that the award sum must be adjusted to present value, taking into account both the helper's current wage and future earnings potential. On review, the Supreme Court not only concurred with the lower court's decision to treat all longshoremen equally under the Post-1972 Act, but it also elaborated on how to calculate damages for impacted wage potential. It outlined the importance of factoring in wage inflation and fringe benefits and discouraged relying solely on wages earned at the time of the injury. However, the Supreme Court rebuked the lower court's decision to use a national wage growth rate in calculating damages. It argued that halting adjustments for inflation in determining lost future earnings was unjust for plaintiffs, given the known effects of inflation on interest rates used for reducing these future earnings to present value. This mandated rule was deemed an oversight and needed to factor in the relationship between wage growth patterns nationally and within specific industries. Ultimately, the case was returned to the lower court for further proceedings. The trial court now had the discretion to reevaluate the record on remand and possibly reopen the case, allowing it to consider wage increases in the award sum calculation. The case represented a significant step towards a more nuanced understanding of compensation calculations for longshoremen, establishing the importance of considering a multitude of factors beyond just present wages.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.